When you're that close, is it different than what the audience would see?
Yeah, absolutely. First thing you're going to notice is that fireworks are in 3D. Most of the time when you're watching a fireworks show, you've got the audience and you're standing in front of the actual pyro itself, but you're looking at it in the same way that somebody looks at a canvas in a museum, you know? And when you're at the fireworks site, you're seeing these things go off in that third dimension, which is vertical space. And it's kind of fun to actually see the vertical separation between some of these different fireworks that you just don't get when you're watching it, 1,000 feet away. You're just seeing it happen all in front of you. But when you're standing underneath it or next to it, you're seeing happen in another dimension that you just can't physically see unless you're actually standing there. And you're also getting the impact of the actual firework going off itself, the thump. There's a visible and an auditory and a kinetic thing when you're standing near this in that fireworks fallout zone operating that show. You got your hard hat on, you got your firework turnout on, you got your earplugs in. You're physically feeling these things go off, They're going thousands of feet per second in some instances.
How do you make the fireworks? Is it gunpowder?
Black powder. We use different chemicals to be able to create the different effects that we want it to be, so like we have different effects that'll make crackle. We have different effects that'll make it bright and yellow or bright and blue. You mix different chemicals together to ultimately get the effect that you're going for. And it's the process of kind of pulling it all together that you'll ultimately create what are called stars. And stars are those pyrotechnic effects that have been rolled in certain chemicals. They end up as kind of, if you can imagine, little balls. And those end up like pixels in the sky. Like when you're looking at fireworks and you see the individual lights coming down, those are what we call stars. And you make those by hand. It's important to note every firework out there, everything is made by hand. It doesn't matter if it's made by myself or it's made by a manufacturing facility. Everything is made by hand. There is no really kind of like mass manufacturing of this. And somebody's hands ultimately made every effect that you've ever seen. And one shell might have taken that person 3 days or even longer.
Wow. It takes that long?
Oh, it could take way longer than that. I have a good friend. His name is Jim Widman. That he's also a member of all of this. He's a current record holder for pretty much every large caliber firework you've ever seen. And he'll often work on a single shell for months to get that one perfect shell that goes off.
So is this a math equation at the end of the day? Like if you put this much stuff, it'll go this far, it'll be this big. Like, is it predictable or is there an unpredictability to it?
It's not 100% a formula. It's art and science, but we roughly know, if I do this and this and this, it's going to yield something that'll look something like this. Now, just like a baker baking a cake, I mean, you can, have some variations on that, but for the most part, we know roughly what it's going to be. And what I would tell you, the rough calculations, this isn't perfect, but the rough is that for about every inch of diameter of shell, and typically you'll start off, the smallest shells are going to be about 3 inches, and those are our finale shells, going all the way up to the largest standard production size is 12-inch, but I will point out they can go much bigger than that, much bigger. But roughly for about every inch of caliber, it's roughly about 100 feet of burst, meaning it'll go 100 feet wide. It'll go 100 feet in the air and it'll take a second to get there. So roughly, let's say like an 8-inch shell, which would be a fairly large 4th of July production shell that we would use. That'll roughly go about 800 feet wide. It'll take 8 seconds to apex and it'll go about 800 feet in the air, roughly.